What's up, Giants fans? One Giant Rebuttal here, back with another video. And last week, toward the end of the week, I asked a question to Giants fans. And the question was, what 3 moves you would make if you were Giants GM? So I'm going to go read those comments in a second. But before I do, I want to ask you guys, for my next video, would you guys like me to rebut Mike Francesa's recent comments about the Giants? Would you like me to rebut Mike's Too Nice video on Landon Collins and Dave Gettleman, Saquon Barkley, and Eli Manning? That's obviously the contents of the video. And or would you like me to rebut Stephen A. Smith on his recent comments about the Giants? Those are your 3 choices. I mean, unless you guys have other suggestions, like maybe there's some other Giants content creators you guys know that you would like me to rebut. All that being said, I apologize for the audio issues you may encounter today. I'm not using my good mic. I'm using my one on my laptop. Unfortunate events happened, and there's a problem with my cord to connect to my good microphone. So it is what it is. I apologize. Probably have that fixed for the next video or the video after that. So with no further ado, let's get into it. So starting off first, we have the Entertainer Talking Sports. Obviously a great channel over there, and I appreciate when he does respond to my videos, or at least comments. Obviously, if you guys aren't subbed to him, what are you waiting for? Go sub to that dude. He says, Darrell Williams, Adrian Amos, I agree with both those in free agency. I will not disagree with either one of those. He said, in the draft, I agree 100% with the Devin White. Trade down if a deal presents itself. I agree with that. I wouldn't mind getting more picks for that. And he says, Dwayne Haskins, which is cool too. Next up, we have Todd Dumont. Draft defense in the draft. The unit is desperate need of improvement. Giving up 412 points last year screams that. Obviously, sharing the same sentiment that the Entertainer did in the first comment. Improve O-line through free agency. Giants don't have a ton of money to spend, but they have enough to spend on a lineman. Fair enough. Obviously, he'd like to see Darrell Williams too, I'm assuming, or some other free agent. Continue to improve the culture in the locker room. This team needs leaders to make everyone come together. People don't understand how much value leadership is. I appreciate that, Todd. I really do. That last comment means a lot because that's what a lot of people overlook with the Curtis Riley move, the Patrick Omameh move, the Jonathan Stewart move, the who am I forgetting? Karan Bauer move. I believe a lot of these guys were meant to be leadership guys, not, contribute on the field a little bit, but a lot of these guys were meant to be leadership guys, obviously proven veterans. So I do appreciate that comment. I think it's actually overlooked a lot. Next up, we have Afghanistan Baby. Oh yeah, don't mean to sound like a kiss ass, but I dig all 3 of those you mentioned in the exact order OGR. I got 3 moves to make for the New York Giants this offseason. In a perfect world, okay. Obviously, sharing the same sentiment I shared in the video, and I do appreciate Afghanistan Baby. Oh yeah, he was one of my first legit subs that I ever had. I mean, obviously, family and friends when I was launching the YouTube channel, obviously, subbed to me first, but I do appreciate it, and I appreciate the sentiment on the question and answer. So, obviously, we have Meet the Mets. He says, I'd cut Eli, sign Foles, draft defense. Obviously, this was recorded 6 days ago, so cutting Eli, sorry, Meet the Mets, probably is not going to happen at this point. They either want him around to teach somebody like a Dwayne Haskins, or he's going to legit be the starter. Sign Foles. Obviously, that's not going to happen now. We know that the Jaguars will be signing Foles and then draft defense. Obviously, I agree with 1 out of the 3. Big Blue for Life, another good sub of mine. In free agency, I would sign Trey Boston. Big Blue for Life, are we on the same wavelength? Like I said, Trey Boston the other night, especially after Landon Collins obviously won't be retained through the franchise tag. And he said, I would trade Evan Ingram for a second or third round pick to a West Coast offense. Yes and no, Big Blue for life. Yes, I can see it because I can see how you wouldn't think it's a scheme fit. Here's my problem with that. When Odell was injured, the offense didn't look that terrible. Obviously, against the Titans, it did. It's just that Odell takes so much of our offense that it kind of sometimes overlooks Sterling Shepard and Evan Ingram. I think they need to do a better job this year of balancing the offense out. But I could see why you would say that when it comes to Evan Ingram. He says, obviously, continuing with the sentiment of defense, I agree with all those guys you would want to draft in the first round there, Big Blue for life. Moving on to Adam Turner, agreeing with what Todd DeMont said and with Entertainment Talking Sports. Obviously, the right tackle for the Panthers, I agree. Darrell Williams. Draft a defensive player. Obviously, this is going to be a constant sentiment to a lot of people in this video. Defense, defense, defense. Try and get Earl Thomas. Adam, I can see why you would say that. The only problem is Earl Thomas hasn't played a full season in the last 3 years. I'd be nervous to get him. There's no question. I love his talent. Cushman Baseball Chat, another YouTuber. Also, Meet the Mets is also another YouTuber. So go sub both those guys up, I believe. He says, Darrell Williams, I agree with that, obviously. Funches, I can see why you would say that because the Giants don't really have a great number 2 right now. And then, obviously, he'd go QB in the first defense or QB in the first round, holding the same sentiment as a lot of others. SETI 079 says, after seeing Murray's hand size, I would not trade the pick, if he was there. I want to see fast talent on defense and trade Lauletta for a mid-round pick. I'm fine with the first 2 thoughts in that, but Lauletta, you're not going to get a mid-round pick for. He's not even worth the value that we drafted him at last year. So you're not going to mid-round pick. You're going to get a 7th at best. And then next up, we have Stephen Lilly, another great sub. For me, I'd go to elite pass rusher in the first round. I'd love Josh Allen. I like him too, but he's not going to be there where we draft Stephen Lilly, but I would love to get him. Second round, I'd go for Dexter Lawrence. I don't think he's actually going to be there in the second round, to be honest with you. He says 4th, I'd get Ronnie Bingham or Jalen Ferguson. I'm not familiar with either of those, to be totally honest with you, Stephen Lilly. I'd have to do a little bit more research, but I'll agree with that for now. And he says, let's bring in a wrecking crew again, and then 2020, bring in an O-line, 2021, Lawrence. Okay, I'd like to address the O-line before 2020, but I can see why you would say that. And then, obviously, 2021, Lawrence. Lawrence is a possibility, especially if Dwayne Haskins doesn't work out and we end up drafting Dwayne. But, like I said, man, I love the sentiment, and I'm glad that you enjoyed my question and the answer. And yes, Lawrence Taylor is the greatest linebacker of all time. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, comment, and let's go Big Blue.